In today's global arena, significant shift is underway as 7 nations are officially saying goodbye to American influence. This move is not merely symbolic, but carries profound geopolitical weight. So what's the real story behind this decision? How will it impact the world order? Stay tuned to find out more. Welcome back to our channel where we bring you the most compelling stories that are shaping our world. Today, we're diving into a topic that could redefine global politics as we know it. 7 nations are taking a bold step away from American influence. But why are they doing it? And what does it mean for the future of our world? Let's find out together. Before we delve into the details, we kindly ask for your support by liking this video to stay updated with our latest content. Your support means everything to us. 7 countries ditching the USA? Unveiling the reasons behind the shift, the United States has long been a dominant force globally. But now, 7 countries are taking a decisive step to reduce their dependence on America. These countries have expressed concerns about various aspects of American influence, including its political, economic, and military implications. One major concern revolves around American foreign policy, particularly regarding the use of military force. Many countries are apprehensive about being drawn into conflicts that do not directly involve them. The desire for greater autonomy in foreign affairs is a primary motivation for distancing themselves from the U.S. Economic considerations also play a significant role. Several countries are seeking to diversify their economic partnerships and reduce their reliance on any single country. They aim to foster more balanced trade relationships and reduce the economic risks associated with overdependence on the United States. Furthermore, these countries are prioritizing their own national interests over aligning with American objectives. They seek to chart their own paths to development and prosperity without being constrained by external pressures or expectations. These 7 countries share a common goal of reducing their dependence on the United States and are taking steps to achieve greater autonomy and self-reliance on the global stage. It is important to analyze the actions of each country individually and understand the unique factors that contribute to their decision to reduce their ties with the United States. Let us now explore the list of these 7 countries and examine the reasons behind their decision to distance themselves from the U.S. and shed light on the potential consequences of this growing divide. No one. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, a key player in the Middle East, has been distancing itself from the United States in recent years. Despite being long-standing allies, the relationship has become increasingly strained. One of the primary reasons for this shift is the desire for Saudi Arabia to diversify its partnerships and reduce its dependence on any single country. By fostering closer ties with countries like China, Russia, and France, Saudi Arabia aims to enhance its position in global affairs and secure its national interests. Additionally, economic considerations play a significant role. Saudi Arabia seeks to attract foreign investment and develop its non-oil-based industries. To achieve this, it needs to cultivate positive relations with various countries, including those that may have previously strained ties with the United States. Furthermore, ongoing conflicts in the Middle East, such as the war in Yemen, have put a strain on the Saudi-American relationship. Saudi Arabia's perception of American involvement and support in these conflicts has contributed to its desire to explore alternative partnerships. As Saudi Arabia continues to navigate the complexities of the global political landscape, it seeks to prioritize its own national interests and protect its regional influence. Number 2. Iran. Iran's decision to reduce its ties with the United States is rooted in a complex web of historical, political, and ideological factors. Decades of animosity between the 2 nations have contributed to this divide, with past conflicts and misunderstandings continuing to cast shadows over their relationship. Iran's pursuit of nuclear technology has been a contentious issue, leading to international sanctions and heightened tensions. The perceived Western threat to Iran's national security has driven it to seek closer ties with countries like Russia, China, and some members of the Arab world who share similar perspectives and interests. Economic considerations also play a crucial role. Iran seeks to develop its economy and improve the well-being of its citizens. To achieve this, it needs to engage in international trade and attract foreign investment. Reducing ties with the United States, which has imposed severe economic sanctions on Iran, is seen as a way to protect Iran's economic interests and promote its development. Furthermore, Iran's support for various regional groups and its involvement in conflicts in the Middle East have strained its relationship with the United States. The two nations have diametrically opposed views on issues such as the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which have exacerbated tensions. Iran's decision to reduce ties with the United States reflects its desire to chart its own path independently from Western influence and protect its national interests on the global stage. No. 3. Turkey's decision to reduce its ties with the United States is the result of a complex interplay of historical, political, and strategic factors. Strained relations between the two NATO allies have escalated in recent years, leading Turkey to seek closer ties with countries like Russia, China, and the United Arab Emirates. One significant factor contributing to this shift is Turkey's evolving foreign policy under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Turkey's assertive stance on issues such as the Syrian civil war, Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and the Russian intervention in Syria has put it at odds with the United States. Moreover, human rights concerns and Turkey's crackdown on dissent have strained the relationship further, leading to the suspension of the U.S. visa services in Turkey. Economic considerations also play a role as Turkey seeks to reduce its dependence on foreign investment and trade. By diversifying its economic partnerships with countries like China and the Gulf states, Turkey aims to reduce its vulnerability to any single country and strengthen its economic position. Furthermore, Turkey's strategic location at the crossroads of Europe and the Middle East gives it leverage in regional affairs. Reducing ties with the United States allows Turkey to pursue its own interests in the region more freely and reduces its commitment. 2. NATO's collective security obligations. Turkey's decision to reduce ties with the United States reflects its desire to assert its independence on the global stage, pursue its own national interests, and reduce its reliance on traditional Western alliances. 4. Cuba's decision to reduce its ties with the United States is deeply rooted in historical, political, and ideological factors. Decades of strained relations between the two nations have contributed to this divide, with past conflicts and contrasting political systems continuing to cast shadows over their relationship. The long-standing embargo imposed by the United States on Cuba has significantly impacted its economy and development, leading Cuba to seek closer ties with countries like China, Russia, and Venezuela, which offer economic and political support. Additionally, Cuba's alignment with socialist and communist countries reflects its commitment to its one-party state system and its efforts to promote socialism on the island. Ideological differences between Cuba and the United States have also played a role in the decision to reduce ties. Cuba's support for leftist movements and its criticism of American foreign policy, particularly in Latin America, have contributed to the deterioration of relations. Furthermore, human rights concerns and democracy promotion efforts by the United States towards Cuba have been viewed with suspicion and resistance by the Cuban government, leading to increased tensions. Cuba's decision to reduce ties with the United States reflects its desire to maintain its socialist system, protect its national sovereignty, and reduce its dependence on the United States in the face of ongoing political and economic challenges. 5. North Korea's decision to reduce its ties with the United States is deeply ingrained in its history, ideology, and geopolitical realities. Decades of hostility and conflicting interests have shaped the relationship between the two Koreas, leading North Korea to seek closer ties with countries like China, Russia, and Vietnam, which offer political and economic support. North Korea's highly centralized and secretive government, led by the Kim dynasty, values absolute control and national sovereignty. The U.S. government's efforts to promote democracy and human rights in North Korea have been perceived as a threat to its regime, leading to strained relations and reduced cooperation. Furthermore, the Korean War and its aftermath have left a lasting impact on North Korea's foreign policy. The conflict between North and South Korea, which involved the United States and its allies, has created a legacy of mistrust and hostility, making reconciliation and cooperation challenging. Additionally, North Korea's nuclear weapons program and ballistic missile tests have raised tensions with the United States and the international community. The perceived Western threat to North Korea's security has driven it to seek closer ties with countries like China and Russia, which offer military support and diplomatic backing. North Korea's decision to reduce ties with the United States reflects its commitment to its authoritarian regime. its desire for national reunification under its terms, and its efforts to deter perceived Western threats through military capabilities. Number 6. Venezuela. Venezuela's decision to reduce its ties with the United States is rooted in a complex web of historical, political, and economic factors. Decades of strained relations between the two nations have contributed to this divide, with past interventions and conflicts continuing to cast shadows over their relationship. Venezuela's vast oil reserves have been a point of contention, leading to American involvement in Venezuelan politics and the imposition of economic sanctions. The United States' support for Venezuelan opposition figures and its role in international efforts to pressure the Venezuelan government have contributed to the decision to reduce ties. Furthermore, Venezuela's close ties with countries like Russia, China, and Cuba reflect its alignment with socialist and anti-American regimes. These partnerships offer economic and political support to Venezuela, allowing it to pursue its own interests independently from the United States. Additionally, ongoing political instability and social unrest in Venezuela have been exacerbated by American sanctions, leading the Venezuelan government to view the United States as a source of instability rather than a partner for peace. Venezuela's decision to reduce ties with the United States reflects its desire for national sovereignty, its opposition to American influence in Latin America, and its pursuit of closer ties with countries that share similar political ideologies and offer economic support. Number 7. Myanmar. Myanmar's decision to reduce its ties with the United States is influenced by a combination of historical, political, and strategic factors. Decades of military rule and limited engagement with the United States have shaped Myanmar's foreign policy, leading to strained relations between the two countries. The United States' support for democracy and human rights in Myanmar has been at odds with the country's military regime, leading to sanctions and reduced diplomatic engagement. Furthermore, ongoing conflicts and human rights abuses in Myanmar have contributed to the decision to limit ties with the United States. The Myanmar military's treatment of ethnic minorities and its crackdown on pro-democracy activists have drawn international condemnation, leading the United States to take a critical stance on Myanmar's domestic policies. Additionally, Myanmar's strategic location in Southeast Asia and its proximity to China and India have made it a focal point of geopolitical interests. Reducing ties with the United States allows Myanmar to pursue closer relations with neighboring countries and balance external influences. Myanmar's decision to reduce ties with the United States reflects its commitment to its military regime, its prioritization of national security over human rights, and its desire to reduce external influence in its internal affairs. In conclusion, the decision of these 7 countries to reduce their ties with the United States reflects a broader shift in global geopolitics. Each country has its unique reasons, driven by historical, political, and economic factors. These decisions highlight a growing desire for autonomy and self-reliance on the global stage. As these countries continue to navigate the complexities of international relations, they prioritize their own national interests, reducing their dependence on any single country and fostering closer ties with partners that align with their values and priorities. The world is witnessing a transformation in alliances and partnerships, reshaping the global political landscape.